Hello everyone. So we talked about this many times and unfortunately it became the reality. And of course the government are not stupid. For one second I don't believe that the government are stupid. They know what they're doing, they know what their plans are, they know what they're doing basically. It's not a coincidence this happened. Everybody was saying it, I was saying it, many people were saying it, that this would probably happen. This was very likely. There was nearly a 95% chance of this happening. And it did happen. There was a 5% chance that maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But the 95% chance happened. No shit, Sherlock. But long story short, to do with the house, this new thing that they brought in, particularly in March there, to do with giving more power, I suppose, to the tenants. And a lot of landlords have sold up, of course, and a lot of landlords have went away. This is to do with rented accommodation. But unfortunately, we're seeing eviction rates, and then it's hard to believe that we're in an independent country that they fight 800 years to get rid of the British, and of course, back in the famine during the genocide, because it was a genocide, that in 2026 Ireland, that Irish people are being affected more now by their own government than during the British times. It's hard to believe, but yeah, there's over a 50% increase since the beginning of March, and just in May. So at the end of the year, God knows how many people could be affected. But at the moment in time, I think they're saying it's around 9 to 10,000, which is a lot in a few months. Just in a few months, we're talking about less than 4 months. And it's insane. It's nearly as worse as the famine. To be totally honest, that time where people were affected, where people were starving and couldn't work because they were so malnourished, etc. And of course, the British had plans to basically dispose of the Irish people, basically, because they were too rebellious. They never would give up on their sovereignty and independence and their Irishness. And of course, the British Empire, being the biggest empire in the world, didn't care to have kept exporting wheat, etc., out of the country, and it basically exaggerated it, etc., because they didn't care about the Irish. And we have in 2026 Ireland, it's pretty much the same. Like, history is repeating itself, basically. And it's a one government. It's simple as that. They don't care about the Irish people. They simply could not give a damn about Paddy or Mary or Johnny. As simple as that. And they nearly would export the whole food out of this country and basically leave people to rot on the streets. Because they're already doing it as it is. So they couldn't give a damn. And especially with these rented brewers, basically, they knew this would cause this. They knew this would cause this. And not even that, the people that have rented accommodation, the prices have gone skyrocketing. In some cases I've seen across the country, maybe they were paying 500 a month or 600 a month in some cases. Now it's 1,600. I've seen one case down at Kilkenny. It was about 650 a month, which is not bad, but still at the same time it's not great for such a small place. It was only an apartment. It wasn't like a big huge house or anything. They were looking for 650. And now it's 1,600. So it's gone skyrocketing. Think about that. In less than 2 to 4 months, it's gone, pretty much double. Let's put that way. 1,000, nearly 1,700 that post. And I've seen it online. And there's many people like it. They've got increases, huge increase. Because basically now the landlords can say, there's big demand and stuff, and can have it at market rent. Market rate, basically. So the landlord, and nobody can really tell how much the market rate is. What I mean by that is there's such demand, increased demand, that nobody can ever tell you what the market rate is because the landlords themselves can put it on them. So basically, it was designed to fuck people over, basically. That's what I'm trying to say in the nicest possible way. The government was designed, and of course, it's to get rid of the Irish people, basically, in a lot of ways too. To send them abroad, basically, to make them leave, to force them to leave. Because again, this is mainly directed at Irish people. And it seems to be, because again, everybody said this. Like, I mean, literally, there was a 96% chance this would happen. That was very likely to happen. Everybody was sounding the alarms, and the government refused to listen, and they knew what they were doing. They're not stupid. They're not that incompetent fools. They're incompetent when it comes to some other stuff, but they know what they're doing when it comes to helping Irish people or not helping Irish people. They know rightly. They're not stupid. They have it all planned out, basically. They have it all really planned out what they want to do, etc. And I nearly would say it's going back to the famine times where the British didn't care for the Irish population. We have our own government now, and the same thing is happening, that they couldn't give a damn. They would leave the Irish people on the side of the road and welcome in everybody else from Timbuktu. And that's not being racist of alright, that's just telling the truth. And that's what's happening now in modern Ireland, unfortunately. That we're bringing in everybody else and we can't house our own people. It's absolutely insane. And that's far right extremism. So be it. But it's simply the truth. And I hate to admit it, but it is simply the truth. That we're putting our young people out. Like Tiff was at by Hood, even Holly Collins, and I wouldn't be a fan of Holly Collins and the Social Democrats, the lead Social Democrats. She was saying about a young woman that left secondary school, that's starting out in life, it was probably about 18, maybe 19 or 20 at this stage. But she worked for a year. I think she worked in a job, for a full-time job, to save up to go to college to get a place in Galway. And they were looking for €12,000 up front for a studio apartment for a student. €12,000 up front. Meanwhile, we have people coming over from India who straight away walk into the country and get it handed to them. It's absolutely insane. And this is an Irish woman coming out of secondary school. Like, how is she supposed to hand up €12,000 up front in cash? Like, tell me that. And how can somebody from India, the other side of the world, come here? Again, the European Union paying for it. But what I'm trying to say, how can they get an apartment? How can they get a property? This woman can't, even though she worked for a year in Ireland, contributed to the Irish society. And she can't even get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And she can't, like, no many people have €12,000 just lying around the place. Especially if you're a young college student just starting, like a young student coming out of secondary school. You're trying to get your foot in. It's a very tough, I was in it myself. It is very tough when you're starting out. You're trying to build the blocks. But the government simply couldn't give a shit. They knew all about this and they couldn't care less. But I will say it is history repeating itself, basically. That we have anti-Irish traitors that hate the country. They hate everything to do with this country. I nearly would say they would really bring back Cromwell if they got away with it, to be totally honest, the Irish government. Because they just seem to have utter hatred of this country. And I don't know where it comes from or what it is, but they seem to have an utter hatred of its people, its culture and its history. And we know by Micheál Martin the Taoiseach, a backwards looking idea of sovereignty. That should tell you all you need to know, because having a backwards looking idea of sovereignty. And again, owning your own property, etc., is sovereignty. You're independent, you're free. You're not obedient to the state, you're not obedient to a landlord, you're obedient to yourself. And again, they hate the whole idea, and again, it works into everything, basically, sovereignty. That you're sovereign, you're able to defend yourself, you're able to look after yourself. But unfortunately, in society nowadays, that's long and gone. Unfortunately, nearly the majority of cases, very few people can do that. But it's a rotten society, and you wonder why people are radicalised nowadays, and that's the reason why that people are badly mistreated by the state in every regard. That's just only one regard. But my main point is that this was said. I wouldn't mind if nobody said about it, and it was never talked about, but it was said maybe 1,000, maybe 300 or 400,000 times that this would probably cause that there was a 98% or 96% chance of this happening. And it did. And there's no solutions, basically, unfortunately, to it. But anyway, let me know what you take. Subscribe for more. What do you take? Are you in a situation like this? Because I do feel for a lot of people. They're in desperate situations. A lot of people, as I say, the rents have gone up. And some people have been affected. As I say, there's a 50% increase since March, which is huge. 50% of anything is a huge increase. And we're just talking over shit. We wouldn't mind if we're talking over 50 years. We're talking over a few months. So God knows what it could be the end of the year. It could be an 80, 90% increase. And we could be looking at nearly 100,000 maybe, or 100, maybe less than 100,000. But definitely probably near 30 or 40,000 people maybe could be affected this year because of all this shite. Not through faults of their own, by the government's own agenda. Thank you.